at the docking interface. Another perspective of Nick Hague and Alexander Gorbanov. Butch Wilmore is to Gorbanov's right. Essentially, you're looking over the shoulder of Sonny Williams, who's in the far left seat, if you will, in the seating configuration on the Dragon Freedom.
Freedom SpaceX on the big loop. You have a go for procedure 4.011. We'll meet you in section 2 when ready.
Freedom copies, go for 4.011, see the tip, and we'll press through section 1. Check in with you in section 2.
The crew closing their visors in advance of the individual leak checks on their suits.
Station Houston on the big loop for Ann prior to hatch close. And taking a look at stowage and PMA 3 currently, we are seeing the APAS hatch cover, and we need that to go into the 0.5 CTB for DMAC.
Okay, we will put the hatch cover into the half CTB.
Thank you.
That conversation between Capcom Tess Caswell here in Mission Control and Ann McLean in your field of view, the Dragon Endurance Commander.
We are ready to pressurize.
As she checks the integrity of the hatch interface on the station side, the station hatch is closed. That's the androgynous docking adapter hatch. One more hatch has to be closed. That's the one between Harmony and the vestibule to International Docking Adapter 2. Meanwhile, leak checks are beginning on the 4 suits of the Dragon Crew 9 passengers aboard the Dragon Freedom. The suit leak checks are underway. This should only take a minute or two.
And the Houston station on 2, checking for step 7 decimal floor.
clock, you are go to deploy desiccant in 7.4.
Copy. Go for 7.4.
Hello, hello. Hopefully you can hear me.
It's Freedom. We've got 4 good suits.
Man, they were going forever without saying anything.
Freedom, we see the same for healthy suits.
And that call by Dragon Commander Nick Hague, confirming that all 4 suits of the departing Freedom crew members have checked out, good leak checks on the suits, good integrity on those suits. So we now have set the stage for the undocking of the Dragon Freedom and the Crew 9 crew members just about 1 hour and 24 minutes from now. Just to recap, Sonny Williams and Butch Wilmore accompanying Commander Nick Hague and Roscosmos cosmonaut Alexander Gorbunov for the ride downhill and a splashdown off the coast of Florida on Tuesday afternoon. We will be resuming our coverage, joined not just here at the Johnson Space Center but by our colleagues in Hawthorne, California at the SpaceX Control Center. We will be back on the air just over an hour from now at 11:45 p.m. Central Time, 12:45 a.m. Eastern Time for the undocking of the Dragon Freedom and the Crew 9 crew from the International Space Station. The weather conditions off the coast of Florida and the splashdown sites continues to be good, with splashdown of Williams, Wilmore, Gorbunov, and Hague scheduled for Tuesday afternoon at 4:57 p.m. Central Time, 5:57 p.m. Eastern Time. So with the Crew 9 crew strapped into their seats and good leak checks for their suits on the Dragon Freedom, we'll sign off for now, and we'll be back with you just over an hour from now for our undocking coverage. For now, we'll sign off. This is...
All right, guys. So, let me... So, in the Bible, I don't know how people don't, like, more often talk about this. It's crazy. So, in Revelation, this is just an account that John gave of something that he saw, that he was shown, and he was told that it was, that the things he was seeing would be happening before the end of the world. So, oh wait, I think, where are we? There we are. I guess I got this thing in front of me, that's okay. Whoops, wrong one. Revelation 12 verse 7, and there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Is it a coincidence that there's a dragon tonight being... re-entering Earth's atmosphere with astronauts on it. And is it coincidence that in the Bible, John, in Revelation, John saw a dragon? That's what he said it was. And then he also said that it was Satan. So he said in verse 3, and there appeared another wonder in heaven, that's up in the sky, or in this where the stars are, a wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his heads. Way back in like 2017 or something, they had a program called SpaceX Red Dragon. And so this caught my attention, and let's just look at the Wikipedia article. So it was just like a concept vehicle, and this is actually what they're flying in tonight. This is what we were just watching them being strapped into and doing leak checks and everything. Let's see if I can, there we go. That's the capsule that they're riding in. It's the same vehicle. It doesn't have the feet, but because they splash down in the water. But the point I'm making is that this program was called Red Dragon. Why? Because it was to go to Mars. It was for a Mars mission, so that's why they called it Red Dragon. It's a 2011 concept. It said SpaceX initially planned to propose Red Dragon for funding in 2013 and 15. Blah, blah, blah. The point is, oh, that was a lot of money. It was to be less than 400 million only. Wow. Oh, and then they did it again in 2016. 2017 is a cancellation. But it has nothing to do with the program was canceled, but the vehicle is still, that's the same vehicle. Anyway, that's that. And let's just see, I was going to show you something. Hold on. Am I looking at, okay, yeah, I had you on the right page. Sorry, I'm getting a text. Let's see here. I'm trying to go to my computer and show you something. Okay, let's get that image off the screen. Okay, the one down at the bottom is Revelation 16. I'll make it bigger if I can. Whoa, not that big. Not that big. There we go. Okay, just, again, coincidences or whatever, but those astronauts were just getting into the Dragon capsule, but just, was it last night? Crew 10 docked with the space station. So there's 2 Dragons on the space station right now. But Crew 10 docked, and they came out of their Dragon capsule into the space station. Now, if you think about how they go in there, they're in 0G, so they're kind of just floating around, like pushing themselves around with the walls or whatever. And this is another thing that just caught my attention. I'm like, if John is shown a vision of something, he's describing what he's seeing. These coincidences just seem to be maybe not coincidences, I don't know. And I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. For they are the spirits of devils, working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world, to gather them to the battle of that great day of God Almighty. Think about this once. Astronauts are sus. And it's not only because of, like, that they're, I don't know what you call it, that they're, like, basically, people deify them on Earth because they're, like, you can see it when they do interviews and stuff. People are just in awe of these astronauts. But the reason they're sus is because of the claim that they make. I think they are working miracles, and I think they are devils, because they're the only people ever in history to have claimed to be able to leave Earth. Yeah, I can just leave Earth. There's another place I can go with a rocket where I'm falling perpetually, continuously. That's what an orbit is. I just wanted to check and see. Oh, that always does that. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. That's so silly. But it is what it is. I'm going to check out the chat here. Thomas Morgan, welcome, bro. And Jess Palmer, welcome. And Titus213, welcome. Titus says, geez, Joe, SMH. Don't know what that means. Shaking your head? I'm just seeing what Titus says here. Does things really flow up in the atmosphere that these ISS space station and capsules supposedly are at? Do they actually stay still and float? No, they're not still floating. See, here's what's interesting about what an orbit is. It's just, if you are in orbit, you have changed your, I'm not saying you or me, an astronaut. When an astronaut goes in orbit, they are going into a state of perpetual free fall. So, okay, Titus. Once they get into orbit, and so how do they get into orbit? This is what's so interesting about this, guys. Oh man. Okay. There is a bottomless abyss that the astronauts are saying is real. They're saying that if you go sideways fast enough, they're saying that the Earth is a globe. So the curvature of the Earth would go like this. So if you go fast enough sideways, what happens if you go super fast sideways and you're also free falling? You're going to fall like this. So if you go fast enough, you'll fall around that curvature, and basically you'll stay the same distance away from that globe. The problem is that if you live on the Earth, it isn't going like that. Like, there's a lot of things that people could say, oh, that's evidence of curvature, but not the actual ground. Because if you go somewhere, like let's just say, let me make sure that I'm on screen so I can make some kind of sense, hopefully. Oops, wrong page. Sorry, give me a minute. There we go. Oh, what did I do? I gotta maximize it. Okay, let me get that off the screen, and let me just go a little bit bigger so I can kind of describe. Okay, if the Earth is a globe, where are you on it? In any case, anyone, there's only one answer. You're on the very top part. And that's all just like a picture in our mind. That's not reality. Because we live on a plane. I don't care if you believe the Earth is a globe or whatever. The Earth that you live on, the one you experience and perceive, is a plane. The ocean is flat. So when people are talking about living on a globe, mostly they're looking at the sky and can't figure out how the sky can work if the Earth isn't a globe. And that's so ridiculous, because how about if you look at the ground and actually live in the place that's not moving, it's perfectly still, and it's flat. That's where we live. And even if you think you're on a globe, you should agree with that your perceptions show you a world with a flat ocean horizon. They show you a world with everything beneath your feet is where the ground is. The sky is always above you, and that's just the world we live in. So if you believe it's a globe, it's something in your mind that you're believing, right? Because you don't ever experience the globe part. You only experience the very top. So the concept or the idea of curvature, it's only indirect evidence. It's things that you say, well, because of this, I can infer that it's probably this happening. Here's an example. Oh wait, I'm. Hold on a minute. Sorry, guys. Wrong example. Hold on. It should be that one. No, that's not that one. Not that one. Okay, this is a time lapse I took of I don't remember what the website was, but these are all the Starlink satellites, and I took a time lapse. Do you notice how they're all moving to the right? People could look at this, like these. This is really where the satellites are. They're up in the sky, and we can track them. And if you go outside at the right times, you can see them and verify that they're there. And there's a lot of them. I just looked it up today. There's 7,085 Starlink satellites that have been launched since, May of 2019? So they've been just putting up tons and tons of these little satellites with Falcon 9 rockets, SpaceX. So when you look at that, someone could infer and say, well, they're actually not really moving to the right. That's just the Earth moving to the left. You could choose to say it either way. It's your choice. You could say the sky is rotating because I live on the Earth, or you could say the Earth is rotating because I'm inferring that because of the sky appearing to rotate, right? Oh, you guys look down at the bottom left. You can see some of the polar orbit, where they're going to pop out. They have some polar orbits, and you can watch them. But anyway, let me show you a site that you can look at any satellite you want. You can track it. Oh, look, right now above my horizon is the ISS. It says right there, and if you actually look, it is there. So, because you guys, I've gone out with my camera. See, look at that. It's gonna be right over me. You guys want to go outside and see it? I wish I was on my phone. Because I just have to look north and I'd be able to see it right now. And I've done this many, many times. So it's not like, I guess what I would have to say is if you think that these are on balloons and things like that, you have not looked into it. You have not done your research. Sorry. If you think that satellites aren't in the sky, like permanently, if that makes any sense. Not permanently, but they're perpetually falling around what people think is a globe. Even though if you live on the Earth, it's never a globe. Only if, like, look at the map that we're looking at right now. I think it's even wrong to look at what we're looking at right now. You know why? That's where God sits. God looks at the Earth from our map's point of view, doesn't he? So, really what's going on, guys? Okay, let me show you something else. Oops, not that one. Okay, this is last night, or the day before last night, whatever. That's the Dragon capsule that's Crew 10, right? Now watch all these ice particles or whatever they are. Just watch them. You know how they say it's like a vacuum up there? It's almost a zero pressure system. That's not true if you look at these things. Now this is sped up, just so you know. This is sped up like 4 times the speed. So if you watch that again, you'll see that there's definitely some sort of medium there. Like, if those RCS thrusters are firing, that shouldn't affect anything other than what is directly in, like, the path of it. It shouldn't be taking these particles and making them, and like, sucking them back towards the vehicle. Do you see that? There's one, like, I guess I can't show you my mouse, but on the right side of the screen, it'll come from the right side towards the left in, like, right about now, maybe Just watch that right area. There's one that's really obvious. Do you see that? How it comes up and then it goes back. There's a medium there. It's not a vacuum. It's not a zero pressure system. There's some sort of, and that's the thing, is what does the Bible say? It says there's waters above. Dark waters and thick clouds of the skies. It's something that I think we don't understand. It's an empty place, but there's an ether or something like that there. You can see it with these particles. So that's just one thing that I wanted to show you guys. Let me see what else. Okay. So those people were all launching on a SpaceX Dragon, right? Whoops. Launching from Cape Canaveral in Florida on the Earth. Florida is on the Earth. It's the ground beneath our feet. That's where Florida is. And I mean, depending on if you're in Florida or not, it'll be beneath your feet. But it's part of the Earth. It's the Earth part, not the sky part. And if you look at Revelation 13, verse 11, he says he just pay attention to what's happening in the world and supposedly, allegedly outside of the world. But John said, I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth. And he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. Let me grab a picture to show you guys. Okay, what does coming up out of the earth mean? A tree comes up out of the earth, right? So it could be a tree or something like that. But I think if we keep the context, that can't be, because it can't be a tree. Okay, can you guys see that? So anyway, this is what they launched on to get those Dragon capsules up to the space station, right? And this little part at the top, that's what they're going to... I hope you guys are seeing what I'm seeing. I think you are, yeah. So it's a 2-stage rocket. That's interesting to me because he said, I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth. He had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. Let me zoom in on this real quick. Okay. That top capsule, that is the Dragon capsule. People are like, oh, you don't know what John saw. I'm like, no, but John told us what he saw, so we can take some good guesses, I suppose. Sorry, I'm just getting this back to a smaller size. It's a 2-stage rocket. There's the booster in the second stage, and the second stage carries the Dragon into orbit, right? So let's get that off. Look at this. Okay, so that same beast, it says, and he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven, on the earth in the sight of men. So he's going to do great wonders. And if you guys okay, so let's just go to this rocket. So where's the rocket here? The Falcon 9. Well, we'll just go to SpaceX. I'll just show you there. It'd be easier. So their main rocket that they launch, they're trying to develop that Starship, but I'm not talking about that. But that does the same thing. Okay, that was the Crew 10 mission. So the Falcon 9 is the rocket that the astronauts ride or get launched on, right? And this is the one, look at this. It's landed 401 times. So what is going on that this rocket can land? So what lands? Okay, there's the rocket. This part lands. It's got landing legs. See that? It's got 9 Merlin engines. And it lifts the Dragon up there, and then it comes back down and it lands without crashing so that they can reuse it again, right? There's the inner stage and the second stage and the payload. So it can be a Dragon or it can be a satellite or whatever. So that's the one that the astronauts ride in right there. So just sharing a little bit of insight. So that rocket comes back down. Let's just go to YouTube really fast, I guess. Oops, I'm going to my studio. That's not what I'm trying to do, but that's okay. We'll go to YouTube and we'll type in Falcon 9 look at that, re-entry burn. How do you get burned? You'd get burned with fire, right? So this is 4 years old. Let's just watch this real quick. I don't know, I've never seen this video, but from 2020. Here, let's watch U.S. launch report. These guys take some good footage. This is from a year ago. This is the boost.
90% of people don't realize that their data could be on the dark web. Like,
okay. We'll just skip through this a little bit.
Max Q.
Orbit. And that is exactly what this
there it is,
vehicle
coming
just
back down.
performed.
I'll just turn the volume up. There it is, coming back down. So it's falling out of the sky. And it's massive, too. It's like the size of a small skyscraper. It's 200 and some feet tall. It's not that tall. It's 260 feet tall, I think. But that might be before it separates. So it might be 200 feet tall. I'm not sure. 230 probably. But it's falling out of the sky, and you'll see in a second here that it needs to do something to slow itself down or it'll crash, right? So it's going to make fire come out of the sky, like right now. So that's what happens. That's the I don't know if that's the entry burn or what that is, but they fire the rocket engines, 3 of them I think, to slow it down, and then they'll let it fall some more, and then they'll do it again right before it hits the ground, right before it lands. So, and people think this is fake. I don't, I can't argue with them. I think it just might as well be. But the physical thing happening is real. The rocket is real. It going up to the sky and coming down, that's real. I guess it just depends on what you consider it to be. But, so there's more fire coming down from the sky. Now let's read those verses again. Because I'm just saying that John wouldn't have wrote these things down, that he was shown these things, unless they had some sort of meaning to some people that would be alive sometime. So I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. And he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast. Because what if the beast was the globe? I was just thinking about that. That would be weird, wouldn't it? Like this rocket, it can do all these things in the sight of the beast. Like, I'm talking about like an orbit. Oh yeah, satellites and everything, they can be in orbit because space is a bottomless pit and the world's in love with it. That's so crazy, you guys. Alright, I gotta go find the chat again just to say hi. And then I just wanted to make a quick live just to talk about the old dragon that all the Christians ignore. It's so weird to me. There's a dragon flying in the firmament. Flat earthers. What are you... Don't realize this? that there could be a connection? I don't know. Oops, I gotta get that. There we go. Could there be a connection? Put it this way. If someday we all find out that this Dragon capsule is the sole deceiver and has deceived all of our generation into thinking that we're going to that there's a possibility that we can land on Mars or that we can live on Mars and we can make humanity go out into other worlds. That's what Elon Musk has done. He's talked the world back into the idea of other worlds. Like, I do think when the shuttle crashes happened and all that, that really stopped everything that was going on. The moon landings, that all stopped. All that stopped. So I don't know. Let me find the... there we are. All right. Swallow GE, what's up? The frames are too spaced for me to look at the direction of the particles. The frames are too spaced? You can see it if you type in Crew 10 on YouTube and then go to 4 hours, or no, what was it? Yeah, 4 hours and 15 minutes. You'll be able to see it. I was playing it in like 4 times the speed. I can't quite see what the name is here. Zoo himself, something, I can't really tell what that says. Space doesn't exist and neither does your spinning water ball. Well, I don't really have a spinning water ball. Like I was saying, the Earth is flat to anyone who lives on it. That's like with the people that talk about if the Earth was rising up and that's why things, that's like why gravity's there or whatever. If the Earth was rising up, it's only rising up to the people who are not living inside of it or living on it. Only to them. Because you'll never see it rising up, will you? You'll only live in it where we have what we call gravity or a downward acceleration. So, there we go. As he mentioned, flat earthers like he wasn't one. No, I think I am a flat earther. But I think what you're saying is when you say space doesn't exist, I think that's just willful ignorance. That's what that is. I'm not insulting you. I'm saying that there is a whole aerospace industry of real people and real machines. And you just say, nah, it's fake. And you don't look into it. You have no knowledge about it. You don't understand any of it. That's what happens. Like, let me give an example. This was years ago. I talked to Sean Griffin, and we were talking about the space station, and I was going to show him some footage of it that I took, and he was like, no, he's like, I have friends that I trust that have photographed it, and it's a U-2 spy plane, like, done up to look like an ISS. And I'm like, no, it's not actually, unless, I mean, that's just an idea that someone had and said. But if you take your camera or telescope and look, you can actually see it. Yes, I agree, Zeus himself. Zeus, is that Zeus maybe? There's a firmament, nothing to do with willful ignorance. No, there is a firmament. And what is the firmament? Is it a place of darkness? Just think about that once. Right away at the beginning of the Bible, the beginning of the creation, God said, let there be light. And he saw that the light was good. And he divided the light from the darkness. I'm just seeing what we got written here. So there's a thing called darkness. So space isn't fake. Space isn't not existing. It's a place of darkness. It's outer darkness where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. So that's what I'm saying. If someone just says, oh, it's all fake. They're faking the rockets. They're faking all this. Firmament is a solid dome. I agree that it's a solid dome, but probably not the way that you might think is agreeing. If you go really fast and you hit the air that we live in, it is like the most destructive solid thing that you could imagine if you're going fast. And that's what happens to a spacecraft when they're trying to re-enter. Zeus himself, I think it's just much further along than you're considering it. I'm saying this whole deception. There are, like, have you looked at the night sky ever recently? I'm just saying, if you go outside, let your eyes adjust, and just look at the sky, you're going to notice crashed out. And I hit restore when it came back up, and it actually opened up the right way. That can't be. Well, either way, yeah, it looks like I'm back, but I don't really know. So what I'm gonna do is kill the stream and yeah, watch these astronauts. They're sus. All right, guys, much love.